Like we have the Impossible Hike that we do in the fall. A good friend of mine put me in touch with a Navy SEAL who's going to do training with us in August to sort of build some team chemistry. So, I mean, we have built things built into our culture that, are inclusive and make everyone feel welcome and valued. And so, really these two kids are just coming into that culture, and the things they can bring on the court, they'll bring, but they'll also find a voice for themselves in the post-practice things that we do and the team bonding activities that we do. So, I mean, to me, as I've gotten to know these young men, I mean, they're really sweet kids. They're smart kids. They're good students. I think they're going to fit in really well with how we do things in Notre Dame.
Matt, we can go into your coaching philosophy, but I want to ask, what are we going to expect out of this star-studded roster? Are we going to see? I know you like to play fast. I know you like to get a lot of shots up. Are we going to see more of that? Just kind of talk about what we're expecting out of this team. I know it's early and you just got these guys, but you're going to have a summer to maybe put something together and a nice fall term to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the overall philosophy of our program is they're allowed a lot of freedom on offense, and we like to pick up the pace on defense. And so, depending upon who you have on your roster, that freedom, manifests on offense in different ways, and that intensity on defense manifests in different ways. Lately we've been pressing and shooting a ton of threes. And with this team, we'll see how that freedom manifests. But, we're really big on, allowing the boys on offense to be creative, to do the things they do very well. And on defense, we're just trying to put teams in situations where they feel sped up. And, I'll see how we can do that best as I get a hold of these guys.
You don't always have to win a CIF championship to have great moments in sports. You had a breakthrough victory last year at Harvard Westlake. You had trouble at Notre Dame beating the Wolverines. What did that mean to you personally, and what did it mean to the program to finally get over the hump and beat Dave Rabibo's team?
Yeah, I mean, Harvard Westlake has been a dominant team in the Valley since I was in high school, almost 20 years ago. They've won, I think, like 9 out of the last 18 Mission League championships. They've won, 6 section titles. I mean, so that's an esteemed program. Notre Dame, for the most part of this century before I got there, was, a 40% winning percentage ball club that, struggled to kind of really consistently compete against teams like Harvard Westlake. And so, while we'd had some success while I've been there, I mean, that win, and to win specifically at their place, was a culmination of a lot of hard work from the young men that started with me as my first class 4 years prior. So it was a big moment for us. We want to get to a point where it's not such a big deal. We want to be more consistent, but in that moment, it was fun.
Well, I got a feeling you're going to get a lot of big wins, and you have a lot of opportunities coming up with, Sierra Canyon joining the league and Harvard Westlake with a lot of their players back. And we wanted to congratulate you on your Christmas present that came early, these 2 gifted players that got you in the news. We don't have a lot of basketball coaches on at the end of May, but the fact that you were able to get these 2 highly regarded 5-star guys to come on campus. I know you didn't do it personally. They kind of wandered in. They filtered onto the campus in Sherman Oaks. Congratulations. Great news story, and I'm sure you'll have a terrific team next year.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. That's Matt Sargent. Good guy, does a great job, and his teams go up and down the court. I mean, there's been times over the last couple of years where they've been around, if not the number 1 team in the country in scoring. They're right up there, 80, 85, 90 points a game in certain years. They really like to fire it, and they love to shoot threes.
Really excited to cover that league. And, Matt brings up a good point. He talked about how Harvard Westlake has kind of been the team to beat in the Mission League, and he's right. And now I'm thinking about it, it's like the arc of that league. Crespi had a run where they were winning titles. Alemany with Trey Meeks was really good, won a state title. And now, now it's more Harvard Westlake Notre Dame. Here comes Sierra Canyon. So, when kind of thinking about St. Francis has been really good. So just thinking about the league in general, Loyola back in the 90s was really good. So
they're all still pretty good.
They're all very good. I'm just kind of saying I like the fact that now that I think about it, there's really been different teams have almost their little eras and spots where they won a championship or finished second, and the parity in the league is really, really fun to cover.
And again, we're not going to go too deep into basketball here, but I've always thought that the Trinity League, and we know they dominate in football, is maybe the best league in basketball because of modern day over the years. In St. John Bosco and all these other schools, J. Sarah, there's just so many good teams in the Trinity, but I think now the Mission League may have supplanted them and may be the best league, although certainly the Trinity League and other leagues are still pretty good.
I would say that the Mission League is the best league in California this coming season, and I don't think it'll be much of a contest.
Our last topic tonight has to be track and field. And we're going to show some highlights in a moment of Dejon Stanley, who has a chance in the 400 meters. But let's talk about Roderick Pleasant, Mr. Superstar.
Unbelievable. From
Sarah High School in Gardena. Ran a 10.14, 10.14 in the 100 at the Masters meet. He's the favorite this weekend at the state. He is sensational.
Only a junior, which is extremely impressive. Ran a 10.16, wind-aided. Comes out, runs a 10.14, not wind-aided. I mean, it's like, come on. How fast can this guy go?
And he's not shabby in the 200 either.
Yeah, no, he's remarkable. And I am curious to know if he's thinking Olympics. Because those kinds of marks, if he wants it, he could be an Olympian.
The 10.14, I read this, is the second fastest by a boy 17 years of age or under in world history.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not just the United States, around the world. It's the second fastest time of any boy 17 or under ever. Speaking of great talents in track and field, Dejon Stanley at Granada Hills in the city section, and we saw some video of him last week. He won the 400. He's terrific, and he's got a chance certainly at the state as well in the 400.
So here's a little tidbit of him doing the 4x1, and he's just an outstanding runner, another junior.
Both football players.
Right,
yeah.
It's exactly right. And I think what's special about Dejon Stanley, he's really kind of the city section's hope at a state championship. That's just the truth, and everyone's rooting for him.
And we should. He's a good kid, Dejon Stanley. I saw him play football. I saw him rush for nearly 300 yards in one game. He's a terrific running back. Roderick Pleasant, getting back to him. He's a wonderful cornerback, and he's got a million offers already. Tarek, we're down to the final minute. Quickly, Dodger Stadium Saturday, are you going to be?
That's exactly right. Saturday, the prep season is wrapping up, and Saturday, 1 o'clock, Chatsworth, Birmingham. But it will take center stage of the prep world, along with the state championships, of course, for track.
Yeah. Who do you like, Birmingham to win it again? Or is
Chatsworth
going to come through?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I think Birmingham would be the favorite. But, man, Chatsworth's going to throw their number one guy, Jose Ruedas, and I think he's got a chance to beat Birmingham.
And whenever you have an Alvarado in the dugout
there you go.
Marcus Alvarado, the son of Manny, you got a chance. So it's going to be a great doubleheader at Dodger Stadium. Remember, we have Garfield and Narbonne at 10 o'clock in the D1 game there. We wish all the athletes well this week in the championship games in baseball and certainly in the track and field at Clovis up north in the state championship. Tarek, we'll see you here next week.
I'll be here.
We're still doing this for a couple more weeks. Prep Sports is not quite done yet, but it was a fun show. I want to thank Mike Smith from Roosevelt coming on the program, talking about his great championship Mustang softball team, and, of course, Matt Sargent, the basketball coach at Notre Dame. He's going to have a phenomenal team next year. Thrilled to death with his two great transfers. All right, for Tarek, I'm Randy. 9 o'clock next Thursday night right here. Live. Good night for now on SoCal Prep Report.